Hey guys, today is a big day for test server because we finally have the Valentine's couple for this year. Di DiaoChan, I don't know how to pronounce it very well, so if I butcher it, please correct me in the comments. I'm really bad at pronouncing things, but we're getting DiaoChan, which is how I'm going to pronounce her throughout this entire video. She's a support for the Watchguard Infernal faction, and also Lubu. Lubu is the same factions as Ardia, actually. He's Northerner and Chaotic. These two are projected to be next week's banners, and one of them should be a limited hero. The other one, I assume Lubu will be in Ancients. Maybe he'll be in Blues. I don't fully know yet, but that's kind of my predictions. And I'm very excited for these two. Partially because DiaoChan's a support and a very interesting one at that. Now, I haven't really read the kit very much because they just got released like this hour, and I immediately got on putting out a video on the kit. So this video is going to be about the kits, and then I'm going to have my further extensive testing and showcasing and blah, blah, blah later in a few hours as soon as I can get that done. And editor's note here for later in the video. I started off with DiaoChan because I thought she would be more interesting because I find like supports are always it doesn't matter. Lubu might be better than Ardia or Ardia level or something like that just off of the kit. I'll have to test him, of course. This is just like a introductory thing, but he has so much potential. It's insane. So that's the one to be more excited for. Very, very cool bond skill units, and will probably be alongside like a Twyla Hex or something. But anyways, let's get into it pretty fast. I want to start with DiaoChan, which I think is going to be the one that I'm more interested in reading. Obviously, I have not read these yet, so this is like a very fresh look. But from what I've seen, I'm the most interested in her. First of all, Watcher Infernal, they're not very populated with healers, so it's definitely good to include her there. Her tags are Ally Buff, AoE Heal, and Team Protection. So a little bit of offensive capability and defensive. Now her stats are pretty damn low, honestly. She has 9,700 HP, 2,583 attack. Her defenses are pretty typical, though it is interesting that they're pretty close. Her cost is only 6, which is kind of crazy. And her attack interval is insanely large. This might be one of the longest attack intervals in the game. And she's not going to be attacking very often. The other character that comes to mind that's that slow is I. I is slow as hell, and she's 5 seconds. DiaoChan is 6, which is crazy. So she better be good. Her rage regen auto is also one of the highest in the game at 18. I remember Uridan used to be like the highest or one of the highest. If I can go and find him, I'm not going to be comparing everything as we go through, but I remember when Uridan came out and 12 was like unheard of. Now we're getting like 18 and stuff. It's kind of nuts. So she's going to be regenning rage quite often. Now to go into the kit, of course, I'm going to start with the talent, then the abilities, and then the ultimate, Bond Skill Awakenings, blah, blah, blah. Right? Also, what's interesting about one of her animations was it looks like she has two forms as we go into this. So first of all, her talent increases healing bonus by 50%. When deployed, she begins dancing to Serenade of Hope. Serenade of Hope is a stance that continuously heals and protects allies. I assume this is the phase that you're looking at right here, the black-haired form. And then during Serenade of Hope, it gains an extra 4% healing bonus every 2 seconds. Basically, just makes her heal a little bit more, and it reaches a maximum increase after 20 seconds. So it's kind of reminding me a little bit of Ingrid as we go through here, that the longer you keep her in a certain phase, the stronger that phase is going to be, which is really, really cool. I mean, we all know what Ingrid is, right? It's a very cool mechanic. And then during Song of Sorrow, which I assume the ultimate will change as we go through, Song of Sorrow is a stance that continuously strengthens allies. It increases attack by 2% every 2 seconds, reaching a maximum increase after 20 seconds. This is going to be about 40% extra attack, and this one's going to be about 80% extra healing bonus once they get to their maximum things. These effects are removed when switching stances, very, very similar to an Ingrid. Also, her range is kind of interesting. It's like a slightly bigger Actually, no, it's not slightly bigger. It is a Dolores range, so pretty interesting there. Her basic is called AoE Heal. In Serenade of Hope, it periodically applies attack-based healings. She is an attack-based healer 3 times to all allies in range. Next, Song of Sorrow grants 21% inspiration. When fully skilled, it's going to be 25% to all allies in range. Inspiration is one of the most important things in this game, and we only have a couple units that do it. Dolores is one of them, of course. So we got that going for us. 2 forms, obviously, more usage because of it. Now, the first passive is going to be Bittersweet Dreams. Within 9 seconds after switching stances, basic attack inherits half of the effect of the previous stance. Can be triggered up to 1 time every 60 seconds. That's kind of weird, actually. I was not expecting to see this. And when max skilled, it's actually every 45 seconds, which is kind of interesting. And it lasts for 15 seconds. So it's about, what, 33% of the time. Basically, when you're swapping, let's say you're in the healer mode, from what I understand, you want to swap to the DPS. You want to increase people's attack. You're going to swap, and she's going to maintain for 15 seconds half of that healing bonus and everything related to that. I think that's pretty sick, honestly. It makes it so you're more enticed to swap around, and it won't really cripple you as much. Now, the second passive is Thorned Rose. The way it works is Serenade of Hope continuously applies physical damage reduction of 10%. It's going to be 20% when fully skilled, and magic reduction to all allies in range. So it's functionally 20% less damage taken. Insanely good for Guild Boss 2, especially is where this comes to mind. Song of Sorrow as well is it continuously applies penetration increase. Holy shit, penetration is insane. To 20%? Okay, that's crazy. To 2 other allies. Oh, only 2 other allies. For a second, I thought this was like Dolores giving 20% penetration to everyone in her range. It's only to 2 other allies with the highest attack. It's still really good, but penetration increase, attack is more important than crit damage for a reason in this game, and that's to get through defenses. And by giving people more penetration, the attack requirement goes down because you no longer need so much to penetrate through the defense. It's really good. It's one of the best buffs in the entire game, and it's really rare. You'll almost never see this buff. I didn't even know this existed. So that's pretty sick. She continuously applies it in Song of Sorrow. So in the healing phase, she's going to heal more, and she's going to put out damage reduction. And in the DPS mode, she's going to increase attack, and she's also going to allow you guys, or your allies, to penetrate more. Now, the ultimate is a Lover's Requiem. First of all, this is 100 cost, and it just swaps. That's kind of what I figured. It just swaps back and forth. It's not really that big of her a part of her kit. 6 cost, basically Dolores and something like Tallulah or Pharisee in one. That's really good. I'm gonna 100% pull for her. That reads amazing. Obviously, I will have to test it. Video coming later, of course. Now, her A1, the way it works is for the ultimate, it makes it so when you switch to the healing phase, it heals allies in range for 500%. And when you swap to the DPS phase, it applies rage regen to allies in range. The rage regen is 2% per second for 5 seconds. That's 10%. These effects can be triggered up to 1 time every 30 seconds. If it was all the time, that would be crazy. But this is further a little bit of incentive to get you to switch phases more often. I think it's pretty damn sick. So the A1 reads pretty well. Obviously, we'll have to test it. The A2 is plus 300 attack. This is going to be a must-have for an inspiration unit if you're going to use them like that. She's kind of 2-in-1. You're most likely going to be using her if you need her for a specific piece of content, of course. Now, the A3 is increased basic attack range. I'll put it on the screen once I get her A3 because I am very curious. If it's really big, it's going to be crazy, but I assume it's just going to be like slightly larger. Now, the A4 is all damage reductions plus 8%, helps her stay alive a little bit longer. And then the A5 is during Thorned Rose. Thorned Rose is the thing that magic reduction, physical damage reduction, or penetration increase. During those passives, increases damage reduction of Serenade of Hope by 5%. So instead of 20% with fully skilled, it is 25%. And it also increases the number of targets affected by Song of Sorrow by one. Instead of 2 units, you're going to get 3, getting that penetration increase. It's good, but if she happens to be a limited unit, I think it's safe to say that you do not need to pull for the A5 unless you are really desperate for it. She's really cool, and I realized that I didn't talk about her bond skill. Her bond skill is when you get Lubu, the flying general, who I will be talking about shortly, in the hero gallery to unlock the following bonus effect. As long as an ally is in the basic attack range, reduces AoE damage taken by 30%. She gets, through her bond skill, Pharisee passive. That's just it. It's a max skilled Pharisee passive. Pharisee is no longer good as long as you put your units in DiaoChan's range. And if you have her A3, I assume she can fit a lot of people in that range. So, Pharisee power creep, Tallulah power creep. She's going to be an inspiration unit. I don't know how good she'll be. She's a lot of things in one. If she happens to even be close to the best in those areas, she's going to be one of the best units in the game. If she's not, then she's just going to be pretty good and will enable Lubu, who we have to go over now. Lubu is pretty interesting from what I understand. He was briefly leaked before my retirement from leaks, of course, and let's just say I've been told that he's the more exciting one, although I don't personally see it because I have not checked it out. The thing that immediately jumps out to me, aside from the massive lack of nippies, but the thing that jumps out to me is he's 3-tile range, and he might even go up when he's promoted. We'll have to check in a second. This is amazing. This automatically makes him so much more viable. Moonton was listening with this one, that's for damn sure. Chaotic Northerner, fighter. His tags are multi-target attack, durability, and range boost. So he does actually get higher range. That's sick. He's 20 cost going into this, and he has a couple things. 20,000 HP, pretty damn good. He doesn't need that much HP because he's more than 2 tiles. His attack is 5,400, which is pretty decent. The defense, pretty average, magic resistance. Going fourth, 20 cost, which is pretty good. The most normal attack interval and the rage regen is right there. Lubu. Every 12 seconds, the next basic attack consumes 15% of current HP. Amazing for chaotics. You want them to be lower HP. But every 12 seconds, consumes 15% HP to gain Chaos Strike. Chaos Strike is deal 320% AoE damage up to 10 enemies in a large area ahead. Every 12 seconds, he's doing the Ardia passive, basically, that slices through everyone. He's like Ardia, from what I'm reading so far. When deployed, immediately enters a deep descent. Deep descent is 15 seconds long. Enters a state with independent HP. We don't have that yet. Starts with 65% HP. So I assume he gets 65% HP, and then when he loses it, he doesn't actually die. I don't know. When Chaos Strike is triggered, Chaos Strike being the big hit from before every 12 seconds, it inflicts 50% slow for 3 seconds. What the fuck? When receiving fatal damage in the state, exits the state and restores 50% HP. So the way I'm reading it is he decides to, gain a certain amount of HP. It's not actually his health pool. And then when he loses it, he actually doesn't lose his HP and he actually heals, which is weird. And then when he triggers Chaos Strike, which is this big hit, it's 50% slow. That's kind of nuts. And gains enhancement effects of the ultimate Dark Star. Dark Star we will get to shortly, but cannot use ultimate during the state. So he becomes as strong as in his ultimate, but he can't use his ultimate. What the heck? And when HP drops below 65%, Chaos Strike in trigger interval is reduced to 10 seconds. So the lower HP he gets, the more often he's doing that. And in that phase, he actually gets his ultimate stats. The fuck? Anyways, that's kind of crazy. Now we have, going through the rest of the kit, I'm kind of dumbfounded, but we'll keep it going. He has 120% AoE damage up to 5 enemies. AoE is always appreciated. His first passive is when not in deep descent, which is that passive that we just talked about. or that ability that we just talked about, gains 0.5% rage. It's when attacking enemies. It's 1.5% when fully skilled. And then for every 20% max HP of damage taken, gains 1 rage. So he's getting his ultimate a lot faster the more he's taking damage. And he also has a separate health pool, which keeps him alive even more. And then both effects double when current HP drops below 50%. So he's getting so much more rage. That's kind of nuts. The second passive is when HP is below 65%, increases damage by 20%, 30% when max skilled, for each ally within 2 tiles with HP below 65%, increases damage by 10%, up to 30% increase. Wow. When the heroes or an ally HP drops below 65% for the first time, he gains 20% rage, 30% when max skilled. What the fuck? Moving on, we got Dark Star, which is the ultimate. It's 800 cost when fully skilled. Oh my god, what is happening? 25 seconds long. You enter it, and he enters Deep Descent, which is the extra health phase. Upon reaching maximum power, immediately enters Deep Descent and gains enhancement effects, increases own attack by 30%, and reduces trigger interval of Chaos Strike. What? What? I'm so confused. It's like this passive thing on deployment. So it's like he starts with his ult, but his ult also puts him into it for 25 seconds. I'm so confused, and I love it. What the hell? The bond skill for him though is obtain hero DiaoChan, Moon's Radiance, to unlock the following bonus effect. Increases the duration of Deep Descent and Enhanced State from his ultimate Dark Star, gained from deployment by 15 seconds. It's a 40-second thing. Okay, that's stupid. That's stupid. Nah. So every 12 seconds, 10 seconds when he's in the thing, the next basic attack reduces his HP, which makes him stronger because of the rest of his kit. Gain Chaos Strike, which does a ton of crazy damage. And then when he's deployed, he enters his ultimate thing and gains the effects and stuff. And then when he's about to die, he doesn't die because he has a different health pool. And he also puts slows out all the time because he's has a 40-second ult when he has a bond skill at 800 cost only. Like if you have any rage regener, he's gonna be always ulting because 40 seconds is crazy long. What the fuck? And then increases own attack, reduces trigger interval of Chaos Strike by an extra 2 seconds to 8 seconds. Huh? What? Am I reading this wrong? I don't know. I'm gonna have to test this guy. I'm testing this guy first. I know I said I was really interested in DiaoChan, but nah, Lubu's where it's at. He's 100% he's gonna be Ancient exclusive because holy hell, they should not be releasing a hero this strong. The A1 though is going to be an improvement to his basic attack. Increases basic attack range by 1 tile. You're gonna want his A1. If the enemy is not blocked, increases damage by 20%. So while they're going through towards the tank, oh my god, it's insane. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that he gets rage. He's gonna be like a Guild monster. Like, I promise you he's gonna be meta. There's no way he's not. A2 is minus 2 cost to 18, who cares? A3 is increases Chaos Strike damage multiplied by 40% to 360%. Executes, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. Executes enemies with HP below 15%. Elite monsters and bosses are excluded, thank god. What the what? Come on. Third hero that has execute, he doesn't need this. Plus 300 attack on the A4 like he needed it, of course. And then the A5 is when under Deep Descent and Enhanced State, taking fatal damage will not instantly end these states. Oh my god. Instead becomes immune to the damage and reduces the duration of Deep Descent and Enhanced State by 5 seconds. What the come on. He then, when he enters the state that he's entering all the time through his ult and through deployment, he can't die. But if he's about to fake die, so he's not actually dying, with his A5, he decides not to die with the fake death. He keeps the fake death, and then he real death later. So he's getting a fake death, and then a fake death on top of that fake death, and then the normal death doesn't come because he just ults again, and then he gains this phase again. who thought of this hero? what? What? Am I overhyping him? I feel like this guy's dumb. like, I already kind of summarized him, but I'm 100% testing him first. But like, what the hell? He's a must pull. I'm just gonna say it. There's no way. There's no way. That's insane. I might have read it wrong. Correct me in the comments if you want. I went into this blind. I wanted to have a natural reaction. And yep, that was surely a hero. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the other videos I'll be making. Let me know if you're excited for these guys. Once again, should be about next week. I don't freaking know what's gonna happen, and I'm excited as hell. So I'm gonna go make those now. Thank you guys. Destined signing out. I don't know what's happening anymore. Holy shit. What a hero.